Okay, let's go ahead and look at the discussion tab. Okay, this has got a number of things on this page, and we're going to check off a few things and maybe even uncheck a couple of things initially. Later on, we're going to probably want to come back and make some changes to that. At the very top, we're talking about the default article settings, and it's unchecked for attempt to notify any blogs linked to from this article. I'd like to go ahead and check that off. I want to notify as we link to other blog posts or something. I'd like to have them notified that we've linked to them. Hopefully we'll get some link backs from them as well. And we could also check the allow people to post a comment on new articles. Now, as you can see in parentheses, we can also set that up on each blog post, which is the way we're going to do it anyway. On each blog post, we're going to let people comment on those. But let's go ahead and check that now. As we get started again, we may come back later and change that, but for now, let's go ahead and keep that checked off. Okay, we do want the comment author to must fill out their name and email, so let's leave that checked, and let's leave everything else on that section as it is. Let's go down. Okay, email me whenever anyone posts a comment is already pre-checked, and let's leave that. And also a comment is held for moderation is pre-checked. Let's leave that. Now, one thing about that, as the site grows and we start getting a lot of comments from people, we will uncheck that box that has anyone post a comment. Otherwise, we'll just be flooded with email that there's comments being made, and we don't need to be notified on every comment later on. We'll certainly moderate all of our comments and make sure they're all clean and usable. But let's leave that checked for now. In the next section, before a comment appears, it's unchecked now that the comment must be manually approved. Let's go ahead and check that for now. As we get started, I think it's a good practice for us to review all the comments manually and just look at them, because this is where a lot of people spam you. Sometimes they put in some really comments that we might not find appropriate for our website. So let's initially manually approve everything as well. And we do also want the comment author must have a previously approved comment. That just basically means once they've made a comment, if we previously approved them, then once somebody is approved for one comment, then they could just continue to comment from that point forward, and we would not have to approve them. But again, let's go ahead and approve everybody initially just to make sure, and then later on we can uncheck that. And you can just leave the comment moderation as it is. Now, if there's anybody that we found that was spamming us, we could always put the information in their URL or email or IP address in that box, and then that would basically blacklist them. They could no longer comment on our site. So
okay,
let's scroll on down. Okay, we definitely want to show avatars.
What is that?
An avatar is just an image, and so it'll just put an image out beside the comment made by someone. Now, if they have their image
it's
already
like the profile picture.
Exactly.
Okay.
If they have it set up with Google, then their image will show up. But if they don't, it's going to put something in the
a blank person or whatever.
Yeah. In this case, what we also want on the rating is definitely we want suitable for all audiences G. That's what we want to leave there, so checked as it is. And then down below, you can have the mystery man or blank or gravatar. I tend to just put the gravatar just because it's a little more graphic. And then let's save changes. Okay, let's go ahead and move on down to media. Okay, basically this is talking about the image sizes that are going to be used for our website. In the thumbnail at 150 by 150 pixels is correct, and you can see it's already checked off that they're going to crop the thumbnail to the exact dimensions as needed. That's fine. The medium size 300 by 300 is fine, and the maximum width of 120 and the maximum width of 1024 and height of 1024 is fine as well. One other thing we could do is we could check the box when we upload our images to the site. We could now have them automatically put into folders by month and year. I really don't think we need that, so let's go ahead and save changes anyway just to make sure. The next one we want to go to is permalinks. Okay, now we're at the permalink settings, and permalinks are very important in the process. Right now you can see it's set to default. And what we want to check off is post name.
How will that affect? What's the difference?
Okay, what you can see now is the way it's showing up in that custom structure. That's the way it's going to look like on our website. It's going to basically show the URL, which is http://integrityresourcesinc.com, and then forward, and then the name of our post, our blog post. Okay, so with this structure, if we're going to have a blog, let's just say it's a blog that we're going to call training, then it would end up having integrityresourcesinc.com/training.
Okay.
And that way it would be easy for people to find the site because it's talking about training. It's going to be easier for Google to reference that title. And so it's very important in your WordPress site structure that you set your permalinks properly. And this is the proper way to set them. So we'll use post name. Okay, the final section in the settings is limit login attempts. I pretty much like to just keep everything as it's set up here in the default setup. And basically what this is doing is it's stopping people from trying to hack into your website. There's been a lot in the past years where particularly foreign countries have tried to hack into WordPress websites because unfortunately so many people set up their WordPress website and they use admin for the username and they use password as the password. And so these computer programs will just sit over in some other country, and what they do is they just come at your website trying to log in, and they'll start with admin and password, and then they'll try different derivations of that, and they'll try other things as well, parts of your username, or they'll try your email, parts of your email address. They'll try different things to try and hack into your site. And what they've done in the past is they've hacked into these WordPress websites, and then they get into the servers because normally all these WordPress websites are on shared servers, and so these people will log in, and once they get into that server, they can basically take over that server, and they start hooking all these servers up around the country, and they get through them just by using somebody's website. And so the server companies, the hosted server, they're real aware of this today, and they'll start locking down these sites real fast if they see that they've been hacked. So one of the things we don't want is our site, hacked by somebody, of course.
Yeah.
And because not only does it take us down, but it could also affect other people on the shared server. So typically what we do is just leave it like it is. Once somebody's tried to log in 4 times, they're locked out for 20 minutes. So, and if they try it again 4 more times, they're locked out for 24 hours and so forth. Now there are programs out there too that you can install, some plugins that if you look at the IP address, it'll show you the IP address of somebody coming in continually trying to log into your website, and it's a spammer or hacker trying to put malware on your site. You can go just block that IP address. But that's one of the reasons we have SiteGround. They're really good about helping with this. So let's just leave that as it is.
So just keep in mind that for people who actually already have like true accounts and are not hackers, if you forget your password and mistype it or something, like let's say 2 times, and then you get it your 3rd time, it resets to 4 times as you log back in, next day or whatever. It's not you have 8 tries in total. It's just 4 tries per login.
That's correct.
So don't panic if you forget it the first time.
And that's one of the reasons that we recommend that you use a good password program, and we happen to use 1Password, which is excellent because you can just go to 1Password and use it to basically log into your website, and it'll automatically put your username and password in there.
Yeah.
And that way it has, 1Password will set up a real well encrypted password, which you couldn't remember if you tried, because it'll use all kinds of combinations of numbers and letters, uppercase, lowercase, and symbols and stuff. But you can just use 1Password, log into 1Password, click a button, say, I want to log into my Integrity Resources website, and it automatically takes you to the URL and inputs your username, inputs your password for you, and logs you in. So you don't have to worry about getting messed up. So good point.